Ryan Hughes has been told not to race because of a concussion. He is not in the starting lineup as we get set for the first 250 Moto from Washougal, Washington. Off and running. And it's down with the hole shot. 50% of the time in the last 4 motos, he's had the hole shot. The Honda in second place, that's Ezra Lusk. Ferry to the inside, good position, but Ricky Carmichael in excellent position as well. All the leaders are right there.
Ricky said he wanted to keep an eye on Kevin Windham today. Wyndham's right behind him.
And Tortelli right behind Windham. As the charge up the hill here in our first lap in the first moto of the 250s is underway successfully. Ezra Lusk making the pass on Dowd. Ezra has led 1 race this year. That was at Unadilla. He led 6 laps in the first moto. And then the race fell apart for him. Here comes Ricky Carmichael. The crowd is going crazy. Carmichael moving into second place behind Ezra Lusk. The old riding buddies doing a tag team match, I think, at the end of the season. Rumored, of course, Ricky Carmichael going to Honda, Ezra Lusk taking Carmichael's machine over at Kawasaki.
Ferry and Tortelli at the tail end of this train out front. And it's a fast train, all the big guns up front. Look at Windham on the outside.
Windham just blitzes by John Dowd.
This is a good track for Kevin. You know, I keep talking about how slippery it is here. That's where Kevin does well. Anytime the surface gets real slick, he's got that great power. Carmichael jumped almost to the bottom of that ski jump. And just, I think Dowd could feel him coming, said, I don't want to get taken out this early in the race, and wisely pulled up straight right there to let Carmichael through.
One of Dowd's decisions at the end of this season is to whether to go back to 125s or not. You might remember that he has not pointed out in 125 Supercross. Here comes Carmichael with the challenge. That whoop section is so great for passing and exciting for the fans. Lusk, Carmichael. Looks like we've got a good battle on our hands here in the 250s. We'll be right back with more exciting action from Washougal after these words. Back at Washougal, our first 250 moto. After Mike Brown won the 125 opening moto. We've got a good battle for the lead right now. Carmichael and Ezra Lusk. Carmichael slipping just a little bit, wanted to cut inside on Ezra Lusk, but couldn't quite make it that time. Look at the speed up that hill.
And the roost here really hurts. You see Carmichael trying to stay just to the side, stay out of that roost, also to keep Ezra guessing.
Actually a 3-way battle now for first place. Wyndham's right behind as Ricky goes bar to bar downhill. Tough move by Ricky Carmichael.
Just muscled his way in there to the inside of Ezra. He's doing it again right there. That almost let Kevin through.
Our third leader here in the early going of our first 250 moto. Kevin Windham putting pressure on Ezra Lusk. He doesn't want to let Carmichael get away.
Ezra getting a little bit wide right there. Thought he had enough of a cushion over Ricky, but found out right about there he didn't. Decides, okay, I'll go wide, try to square it. And that was interrupted a little bit because he saw that yellow fender of Windham coming down there. So just had to give it up to Carmichael. Now, even though Ezra's riding well, it seems like Carmichael's just inching away, and that's bad news for Windham. So he's really pushing hard to try to follow Ricky up there in a 1-2 battle.
Here comes Windham to the inside. Can't quite make it stick. This time he does. Windham, a nice move on Ezra Lusk. Lusk, after battling a rib and ankle injury, posting 4 consecutive double-digit finishes. He's trying to work himself back into a competitive atmosphere. But Kevin Windham was just too much for him there.
Take a look at the helmet right here, Villeman 1X. That stands for the win he had at Mount Morris. In contrast, Ricky running out of room. Take a look as they get out over the gate. That's LaRocco to Ricky's right. Little wheelie, he's got to back out of it. Villeman's got one leg down, weaving into the shoulder of Lusk. LaRocco back and forth, ruins Kevin Windham's momentum a little bit, and Ricky shoots right up the middle.
Ezra Lusk now has Tim Ferry to deal with. Great hop there by Ezra. Can he hold the four-stroke off, though? Four-stroke's great on this slippery surface. Tim Ferry doesn't take it easily, that's for sure, as Lusk has given him a great battle. Ferry finally moving in front of Lusk. With the accident at Troy, Ryan Hughes then on Thursday knocked himself out pretty darn good in practice. And it's highly likely now that he will not go to Europe to be on the Motocross the Nations team. Ferry is the #1 candidate to replace him, but you can't rule out Windham, who's coming on strong, and Brown. But Ferry's had a wonderfully consistent season. Davey?
Brian, looks like Tim is carrying a lot of that momentum from that second moto win last weekend.
Yeah, we had a really good second moto last week. The bike was really fast. Pulled off a moto win. Yeah, the fastest lap times here today in practice, and we're just looking forward to carrying that momentum into the moto.
We know a couple years ago, Jimmy Button won here on the YZ 426. Have you and Tim talked about that at all? That this is a great track for that bike?
Yeah, that bike really suits this track very well with the big uphills and everything. You know, we've worked the tires all day with Bridgestone today, and I've got it working really good. Hopefully we can get it on there.
Our leader continues to be Ricky Carmichael, and Windham is starting to pick up now. He's right in front of Ferry. There you see it. That's the interval. Ferry is knocking on the door for second, but Windham has truly picked up a lot of time on Ricky Carmichael.
Makes me wonder if he's got the stomach problem figured out. Seems like he's riding hard. As soon as we went to that shot of him, he came into that corner, hit a braking bump, the rear end danced around. He's pushing hard, and he's not able to break free from these guys. If anything, Ferry has caught him, and it's going to get tighter.
They round the corner going into the whoops. Always interesting. Carmichael, Windham, Ferry fishtailing all over the place.
He didn't let off, though. You can see these guys, and he wants to stay in contact. Got to learn what lines they're taking, get used to that pace.
Boy, how many riders have we seen slip out right in this area? Dozens. Carmichael could get a challenge next from Windham. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Washougal Motocross Park, just up the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. In a beautiful site and some great racing. Sebastian Tortelli currently in 5th. He won the race at Hangtown, as you saw the graphic there, but has had some problems with bad luck as well as costly mistakes this year. Look at this. It's tightened up for the lead. The fans, you can hear them roaring. Carmichael and Windham. Windham taking the same line right there as Carmichael. Davey, what do you have?
Chad, you guys are starting to get a lot of pressure from Windham. How's Ricky going to play this?
Hopefully he doesn't worry about him and just focus on the track. Kevin's entering his corner speed really good right now, and I just notified Ricky of that. So maybe he'll pick up on that and start attacking his corners a little bit harder.
Last year at Washougal, Ricky came back from a first lap crash to go from 10th to 2nd in the first moto. Then he went flag to flag, leading all 16 laps in the second moto. Won twice here on 125 as well. Can he hold off Kevin Windham?
Little mistake right there. Look at him just holding that inside. He knows Kevin can get inside of him if he leaves any room.
An exciting area as they go through the woods.
Step back in, get away from Kevin. Nice recovery to stay close right here.
Here it comes. Kevin Windham on the inside. Beats him in the whoops. Can he make it to the corner? I think this tremendous crowd is applauding the competition as much as the pass by Windham. Carmichael very popular here, but the crowd was going crazy during that action.
I think they're just excited that somebody has brought it up. Able to challenge just the same way as when McGrath was getting challenged early this season in the Supercross by Ricky. They're seeing something they can't believe.
It's an unusual happening this year because Carmichael has given way to other riders in first motos before this season, but I don't think he's been passed like this before.
Now Kevin's just riding better. He was all over him. Look at the gap he's already opened up, and while Kevin's doing that, Ricky can feel Ferry now.
Here comes Tim Ferry. Well, that would be something. 2 riders passing Ricky Carmichael, then you know he still has stomach problems.
Right now, if he can just stay with Windham, he'll only lose 3 points. If Ferry's able to get around, he'll lose 2 more. 5 points he can't really afford to lose. Watch Windham pick up the front end and touch the wheel right there. Little wheel tap, hops him 3 in, and then he just stays a little flatter, more on the throttle than Ricky. And Ricky's in the best line. So Kevin's got that section dialed in, and anytime you pass Ricky in a section where he feels like he's faster, he's got to mess up his head a little bit.
Kevin Windham having a very good season despite the fact that he hasn't won an overall. His worst finish was 6th at Redbud, and that was after he threw a chain in the second moto after a second place in the first moto. Kevin Windham's been working hard this year to get back up into the competitive level, and he's had a very consistent season.
See the difference in style between Kevin and Ricky. Kevin is a little bit more finesse, a lot more body English, a lot more throttle control. Ricky just pins it everywhere, and you can't do that on this racetrack. You saw Ferry come out of that corner there a couple of corners ago and get sideways. That's because he tried to get on it a little bit hard. He was over anxious, and that just bites you here on this soil.
Now can Ferry turn the trick on Carmichael? That's what the fans are wondering right now.
He's fast enough, no question about that, but passing him, that's a whole other deal.
Strategy comes into play, even though he gets such great traction on this particular course.
Now, this is the kind of track where moving over a couple of inches or hitting that exact line you want to hit within a couple of inches is critical. That's what Kevin is so skilled at. That little front end twitch right there. You just have to get comfortable with the fact that at high speed, the bike's going to do a lot of that every lap here.
Boy, that's a great shot, too, to see the angles and the footwork.
Look at him just shoot out of that berm right there.
That is Tortelli's pit board. Shane Drew is concerned about Tortelli.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, if you didn't remember much, and just fly into the race the next week. You gotta have a concussion. If your ears are popping on the way up to altitude and descending, that's not good recovery for your head. So I think his actions here are to just play it a little bit safe, try to get some good points, get a good start, and not lose too many, especially with Ryan Hughes missing. It's got to be on their minds.
The top 3 riders separating themselves from that tremendous Roncada battle we saw briefly earlier. Shane Drew is waiting for Tortelli to come back around as the leaders go through the mechanics area. Shane is concerned about his rider, that's for sure.
Shane, we know Sebastian got his bell rung last week. How was he this week?
He says he's all right, but he's a little stiff and sore, no doubt, but no like major problems from last week's crash.
Was there any apprehension about bringing him out here to Washougal?
Well, it depends who you ask. I thought he should have took a week off, but, you know, the guy won't quit for anything, so he's all right. No, he's not 100%, I don't think, but he's doing all right.
Back to the action on the track. There's Ezra Lusk, who led briefly. He's now in a battle with Villeman, and Ron Cottle is in 6th behind the 5th place Villeman. There's LaRocco.
He'll push that battle up there.
But still out in front is Kevin Windham. Can he hold on with Carmichael behind him?
Look how far forward Kevin was through that sweeper, almost going over the handlebars right there, charging hard because although he was able to get around Rick, he hasn't been able to drop him.
Windham's won one other moto. That was the second moto at Budds Creek this year. And then you have to go all the way back to Hangtown Classic of last year, where Windham won a moto. He did not win the overall at that time, though. Villeman took 2nd in both motos to edge out Windham and Carmichael for the overall. So anything can happen. Ricky, a steady 2nd, but Windham has not made a mistake.
Ricky knows that Kevin's one of those kind of guys that doesn't need a whole bunch of moto wins to be dangerous. He's one of those guys that when you line up next to him on the starting line, he can win anywhere, any day. Might even be a little bit more versatile than Ricky. A little bit better on hard packed slick, a little bit better in the mud.
Ferry continues in 3rd. Let's go back down to Davey Combs.
Guy Sebastian Tortelli is not the only Honda rider who suffered a head injury in the last 7 days. Ryan Hughes crashed on Wednesday out at Glen Helen. He went down on his head and his shoulder, went to the doctor, decided to take a little time off. He definitely has a concussion. No word when Hughes will be back. 2 out of the 3 riders in the Honda camp, they had their bell rung in the last 7 days.
Kevin Windham, though, is concentrating, focusing on every line, as he's coming close to a very, very good day here at Washougal.
This is maybe one of the fastest laps of the race. It's got to be perfect. If he even so much as makes a tiny mistake, that allows Ricky to get a little bit closer, and if he blows the last corner before the whoops, Ricky can get him there. I love the way they have the whoop section placed here.
Look at Ricky, though. He's very close. Kevin Windham makes a little mistake. Number 4 will be right on him.
Look how far forward. All you amateur guys, okay, take a good look. If you think you're far forward, it's probably not that far forward. And it's working. He wants to make sure that front end goes exactly where he wants it, where he means to go, and the back end will just follow.
If Carmichael can pick up just a little bit more space in the wooded area before that whoop section and the checkered flag, boy, we'll see quite a bar-to-bar finish. He's not quite that close, though. Windham, the whoops and the checkers. Nice ride for Kevin Windham. Ricky Carmichael second. And Ferry way out in front of 4th place in 3rd. After Ferry, Ezra Lusk nailing down a 4th. Good ride for him and a good comeback for Stefan Roncada. Let's go down to Davey Combs now with our winners.
Kevin, that was a solid moto.
Well, I tell you, Davey, that's what I've been waiting on. You know, I've been there. You know, I've been riding good, but nothing's clicked like that. You know, I got through lappers well. In the middle part of the race, Ricky kind of caught up to me, but man, I knew that I'd been working hard and I knew that I could do it, and I just kept my head down and kept riding the Suzuki best I could.
I've seen you get into these high-pressure races before. Sometimes they don't turn out the way they're supposed to, but man, he came back at you. You held him off strong.
Yeah, well, we're looking for a new Kevin Windham right now, and I'm close. I'm about to find him, and you know, it feels good because I've been working hard. And, you know, it don't pay off in this sport right away. You know, Ricky's been on top for a long time, and he's still on top, but we're getting close, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season and definitely being strong for the O2 season.
A confident Kevin Windham. Conditioning makes a big difference, doesn't it? Number 4, Ricky Carmichael placing second, still in good position for the overall. Let's check it out and see how he's feeling.
RC, it was a good pace the whole moto. You look consistent and right in the middle. What happened?
No, I mean, Kevin's riding awesome. He toyed with me out there. I tell you, I was riding as hard as I could, and he beat me. I mean, you know, these guys are getting faster. I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm doing what I usually do, but you know, I rode hard, and there's nothing I can say.
How's your stomach feel?
Actually, it was good. Today's the first time that it hasn't given me a problem. I'm on some medications for it, and I had no problem. So I am happy about that I'm not busting the gut here, but I'm not too happy with the ride. But, you know, I need to go out and try to do something second moto.
Very fine, steady ride for number 15 on the Yamaha 4-stroke Tim Ferry, taking a 3rd place. He's coming off moto wins in the last 2 races. He's on a high, definitely. Let's go back to Davey, who's with Tim.
Tim, you had a good pace there in the beginning. Toward the middle of the moto, you lost contact with the leaders.
Yeah, I actually was right there with them, and I got a bunch of stuff inside my goggles. And I couldn't really see, and I wasn't keeping up with them. And so I pulled them off a little over halfway, and I rode the whole rest of the race with no goggles. So I was going to try to pull in to make a pit stop, but Ezra was, you know, he was keeping pretty steady pace. So I figured if I pulled over, I'd probably come out right in front of him, and then I'd have to battle with those guys. So I figured I could just cruise in 3rd and get to finish there.
I can see the mud in your eyes. It had to have been tough riding.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad because the track's pretty long here, and the lappers are, you know, is not as bad as some of the other tracks. So, you know, I didn't get roosted too bad, you know, because I was up in the front. But hopefully do a little better second moto. I feel like I could have won that moto, but I don't know. We'll go try the second moto.
Good luck.